Hi, and welcome to Wonderland's podcast. Tonight we have Kelly Lord. Hello, Kelly. How are you? Is it hot enough for you?
Bit.
I'm melting. Um, so, thank you for joining us tonight. And why don't you start off by telling us a bit about yourself?
About me. Well,
Yeah. Or anything that hobbies, interests, family, anything.
right. I'm a married mum of 6 and I have 4 dogs, a tortoise. I spend most of my time procrastinating during the day, crafting, baking, getting out of most of what I should be doing. And while I'm doing all of that, if this makes sense, I'm taking notes and I'm thinking about, well, that'll be a good story or that'll be a good line. And that's how most of my ideas come to me, just pottering around every day, just whether it's a trip out or whatever I'm doing. And I'll just take inspiration from everything, even if it's cleaning the kitchen, just take inspiration from everything. It just pops in my mind. I started writing properly because I've always loved to read. I've always loved to make up little stories and things like that since childhood. And I won a competition when I was 7, actually. But that was it was a bit of a Rainbow Bright fanfic, but let's not go there. But I first started properly writing when I was on maternity and I was bored and I discovered Wattpad. I was looking for a platform, which I did start with Episode Interactive, but that has coding and it's too complex and it was taking too long. And then I discovered Wattpad and I started reading the stories on there, and then I discovered that you can actually write your own on it. And I thought, no one's going to read anything that I write. And I just wrote it. I had the flu and I was ill and I was laid up in bed and I was bored. And what do? You got your phone. It was all on my phone. And I wrote this little short story called Labyrinth, which is now unpublished because, my God, it needed editing, right? I didn't have any concept of word count or anything like that. So yeah, 10k plus chapters. So let's say that's going to be a 50 odd k book, but I'll properly chapter it. But yeah, I did a short story called Labyrinth, thinking no one is gonna read that. My God, it blew up, and I was shocked. It just blew up, and I was getting all these requests because it was like, oh my God, I love this, I love that, and another one, a sequel, because it did set myself up for a bit of a thing where there's 12 trials, and I'd written the first short story, and there was like 11 other trials for these like women to take part in, because it's a mating hunt. Should have explained that. It's a werewolf lycanthrope type mating hunt, and it's through this like magical mythical like place called the Labyrinth, which the moon goddess created. And
Yeah.
there's 11 other trials, and the people were like hounding me for these other trials. I didn't realise how popular it'd get, and this was just on, as I say, Wattpad. And I could not believe anybody wanted to read my ramblings, and that's where everything else just spanned from that. Because obviously I pay an editor now, because obviously my stuff would just be atrocious just if I just go to put it out. It needs tidying, things need to be caught through the net. But
Yeah.
all the stories have spanned from that, and I just sort of went from there. And then I went from there's about 20 odd thousand followers on Wattpad. I mean, some of my books have got like millions of reads. And then I went to Inkit, and they took one of my stories and put it on Galatea, which does well. And then didn't know that I could publish my own, self-publish. Didn't really have a clue about publishing. Didn't have a clue. I've never even put a manuscript into traditional. Don't even bother. That's too much for me. I'm happy to just be indie, and basically started from scratch, learning the ropes and learning as I've gone, because I'm still learning. Still got loads to learn, and I've got a good group of author friends around me, which we sort of help each other out when we're stuck. And it's just still in the baby steps. I think still I've got a long way to go. I've got a lot to learn, and it's just I'm enjoying it. It's something that I think I've found that I love. I've always used it as an escape in the past, and now it's something that I love and I'm proud of. But yeah, Labyrinth is not yet published properly because, as I say, I've got to go back and tidy that up and do it justice. Now that my writing's evolved from when I started. And I think learning as you go is the best. It's taught me a lot. And still love to read, but I don't necessarily have enough time as I used to have. I try to support my author friends as much as I can. I buy the books and I give myself a break and I will read, and don't always get that leisure time though as much as I'd like. But yeah, I'm just yes, go on. I'm rambling.
It's okay. No, you're fine. I was just going to ask if you can tell us a bit about your books.
Yeah, well, I'm a multi-genre romance author, so that means I literally don't know what I'm going to write about from one minute to the next, basically. And I blame ADHD for that, because I can flit through things throughout the day. I can literally walk into the kitchen and pick a tea bag up out of the thing, go to make a brew, and then go to put the washing on, and I've left my tea bag. And I have half a dozen different things. That's what I'm like with my writing, basically. I can start werewolf romance. I could start a book on shifters, and then the next day I probably want to do motorcycle romance. So I'm going to start something in that. Everything gradually. I get to the end result eventually, but my mind's that into this, into that, and reverse harem, and then I've got like monster romance, and I've got poly romance and things like that. That I'm into fingering a lot of pies. But I think that's the way my brain works, and I'm just going with it. So with regards, and here's one I've got out. This is one of my reverse harems, but it's a spat. I mean, I'm going to tell you something now. You know, during lockdown when no one could go out, I went around Europe via Google Maps. Best holiday I've ever had.
Yeah, it's less expensive.
Yeah, and James Bond was on back to back, right? And I haven't got time for that. My husband thinks he's amazing, but I have not got time for that. And it was like, I'm sick of him. He's on everything. And I ended up writing a spy reverse harem.
Love
because
that. So
what
your
else can you do?
inspiration was James Bond.
But my version of but with four men. And it's not him, and it's not them that are necessarily the heroes. It's her. She's the hero. She's the brains. She's, the one that saves everyone.
It's a beautiful cover.
Yeah. So, that I've got a special edition, discreet, and I haven't got it with me at the moment. It's been printed, but it's not been dispatched. But I'll have it in Wonderland.
Oh, nice.
So I wish I had it tonight to show you, but I'm keeping my eye out on my notifications. But that's one spy reverse harem. I do have a few other reverse harems, but like I said, I'll get one out of the box now. Biker, Last Man, and another one in the series. You know when you start anthologies and you turn them into novellas and things like that? Well, we weren't meant to be. I wasn't meant to be starting another series, but it just sort of, that's what happens. You get involved with one project and you think, carry on with it. People like it, and then it's like they want more of it. So, and because when you've written about a biker gang, a biker club, should I say, what about him? What about his story? What about the other one? And you think, oh gosh, how many are in this club? And now I've got to write a story for all. Got to write all of a story now. So, but yeah, I like my dark fantasy. I've always loved dark fantasy, Labyrinth and things like that, and like Legend, and I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's where my love for like the paranormal romance comes into it. And I haven't written any fae romance because I want to be able to do that justice. And I love reading about that. I don't want to slaughter it if I do it wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I want to do it justice. So I haven't delved into that yet. But sorry, I'm melting.
You're fine. We're all melting.
But yeah.
It's like what, 31?
It's I don't even want to look at the temperature. I'm scared to look at the temperature. But yeah, I do delve into the polygamy as well, because there's Y-choose, but the polygamy side of it, which is a bit of a niche, because if you're going to do it, you've got to do it right, because you could upset that community. So I wanted to do it right and give a story that like people who are in that sort of a community are going to read it and go, yeah, that's a true likeness.
Yeah.
And I've got two, One Night with Pops and Living with Pops and Daddy, and they are, the book 3 is going to be a polycule, and not many people know what that is, but it's like they're all going out with each other, or some aren't, some might not, but some are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it sort of works within a friendship group, within a relationship group, and not everybody has to get it, but everyone gels together, and there isn't anything like jealousy and like they feel compersion for each other and things like that. And it's getting that right, because obviously if you are not in that way inclined, you are going to be jealous. It's natural, isn't it, to feel jealous? And the main character of that series is, because she's married, but then she falls in love with the father-in-law, and then he's polyamorous, and they introduce a friendship group, and that's where the jealousy comes in. She's got to learn to deal with that herself, and then obviously her husband then has other relationships and she has other relationships, but it can be triggering, I feel, because I think cheating, if it comes across like, oh, it's not cheating if it's consensual non-monogamy, but as some people it might just, a little bit triggery. If you feel a bit like territorial over your personal space, and someone's trying to encroach, your husband might fancy her more and run off with her, and it's dealing with those feelings and things like that.
That's what we put trigger warnings in for, though, isn't it? So that you can read them, and if you don't like them, you move on.
Well, that is actually banned. Them books are banned, and I don't believe they should have been banned, because the content isn't bannable, I don't think. But I think the feedback I got from Patreon, because Amazon don't tell you anything, and Drafted Digital didn't tell me anything, those were banned based on father-in-law. She has a relationship with her father-in-law, and they see it as a form of incest. That's not blood related, but they class it as incestuous, so they don't allow it on the platforms. But then again, where does that leave stepbrother romance? And it's things like that which I've written about that as well. But that seems to be okay at the moment. It's just the father-in-law, they really get touchy about that for some reason. Not that I can relate, because I wouldn't touch my father-in-law with a barge pole. So I can't relate, so I didn't get any inspiration from that. So no.
I'm with you on that one.
No, I didn't look at him and think, write a story about that. Didn't get it from him.
So is there anything new you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, I am working on Cursed Beast, which is another book in the Whitehaven Shifter series. I have been working on that one, and also I've got to cleaning up Labyrinth. And I'm working on another book in my biker series, the Nighthawk series. So my brain just won't let me focus on one. It's whatever I feel, because if it's not flowing, then the words don't come out how I want them to. So if I can flit between things and refresh my mind, a palette cleanse each time I open my laptop, then I work better like that. It might just take me a lot longer to write them, but I'll be happier with what I've produced if I can flit.
So have you got any advice that you would give another writer who wanted to start that suffers with like ADHD? Any tips or advice you'd give them?
Yeah, write everything down, because you're going to forget. Make notes, Google Forms, and learn how to tag. You can go back, make it like a series Bible. Make anything that you think about, even if it's at 2 a.m. when you've woken up, because you've just had the thought. Even if you can access that on your phone, write it down, because I can guarantee by 8 o'clock in the morning when your alarm's gone off, you're not going to remember it. So make notes. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get many words down that week, because life's lifing too much. You've got to be in that headspace to write, and that's all right. Your readers will wait for you. When they'll still be there, because they're waiting for the next. If you're gonna write chapter by chapter, to give them something at
Yeah.
first when you're building your readership up, because that's going to be an important one. Build that, and they will wait. They might give you a bit of grief, like how long are you going to be till the next chapter and things like that. But when it comes out, you want it to be right. As I did, people please, don't people please as well, because you're writing the story, they're not.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to get yourself in a bit of a mental block, and then you won't know what the story's about. This, that, the other. You know what it's going to be about. It's in your head. Just you write. Don't let anyone else dissuade you from what you want to write about. Because that I suffered that in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, bless. Well, thank you very much for coming on tonight and giving us some advice and telling us about yourself and your books. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you at Wonderland.
And you.
So I will say goodnight then. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.